This is Becky Liggero of CoinGeek.com. I'm here today with Jack Liu. And Jack, you have founded RelayX, a super wallet for the crypto world, and you have just launched FloatSV. You're trading now, it's live, it's an urgent situation here. You really sped things up to get this live. Let's just jump right into it here. Our crowd wants to hear why you have pushed up the date of trading on FloatSV, and why is there urgency in what you've done here?
Yeah, I think exchange, there's got to be an exchange for BSV. This is how I thought about it when we launched at my last company, pre-fork trading for BSV. Now, unbelievably, many exchanges are delisting it. So number one, first is make sure there's at least a venue where people can trade SV. Hopefully it stays listed everywhere else. And then we have more plans on Float as well to come.
Okay, so now tell me your thoughts on this delisting of BSV. I know it's really hot on Twitter and the crypto-facing news sources. What do you think this is going to do to the Bitcoin SV ecosystem and to really the crypto ecosystem as a whole?
I think it's going to put a challenge on a lot of people to speed up applications of use cases. So give an example. If there's no exchanges, right, or much fewer exchanges, you have much less speculative money into the BSV, the asset. Therefore, miners are going to have to accelerate how much they derive their fees from transactions versus from the Coinbase reward, because you could theoretically have a much lower price if you have much lower fees and you have no use cases. So the positive is it's a kick in the butt to any entrepreneur who wants to work on Bitcoin, because you got to get going very fast. Have to go very fast anyways, because we have a halving coming up next summer. And then with regards to exchanges, I think it's pretty cookie cutter how to run an exchange or build an exchange at a basic level. So some exchanges will delist it, smaller ones will relist it. Still gonna be a negative impact, I think, for a period of time, because obviously it takes time to grow into the size of a Binance or a Kraken like that.
Yeah. What kind of ripple effect do you think this will have on exchanges, if any? Yeah,
I mean, I think the regulatory fallout will take some years to play out. Obviously, things have to be reviewed. But in the short term, exchanges are going to do kind of what they want. They feel like they're the big bosses in the space. They feel like they have a lot of solidarity right now amongst their peers, the big ones. So you could see a lot of delistings. But it just shows something a little bit off about this whole move, something that smells fishy, which is you have a top 15 asset by any metric. And this asset did not have, it does come from a fork, but it does not have a set of recent sort of ICO founding members that gobbled up a whole bunch of the pre-mine or anything like that. This was just a different technical protocol implementation of the original Bitcoin. So I could understand, one exchange here or there having an issue, but to band together and all get rid of it, there's something smelly about the whole thing. Because there's certainly a lot more worse projects I've seen listed on exchanges all over the place than BS.
Okay, cool. Well, Jack, let's talk about something positive here, to add to the ecosystem, something nice and positive, which is what you've done with FloatSV. I know that when you and I chatted at the CoinGeek conference in November, you were saying that exchanges in general need to innovate, they need to professionalize. Tell me how what you've done so far and what you plan in the future to do with FloatSV will really underscore these goals that you said when we were together in November.
The long-term goal for the exchange, as powered by a blockchain, is to trade assets 24/7, right? So any asset listed on the blockchain can be traded 24/7. It can bring a level of transparency, efficiency, global capabilities, all the things that you see from today's crypto exchanges. They leverage these type of features, but the real potential, once you have a real scalable blockchain that's regulatory friendly, is you should see some of the real assets. I'm talking about commodities like oil, gold, copper, commodities that don't trade today. We don't even think are commodities, and currencies. Those are assets that can trade against each other. So a real example is Forex trading, right? It already seems 24/7, but there are that window between the New York close and the Australian Open on the weekend where you cannot trade FX. So imagine if the euro or the pound or something like that was tokenized on the blockchain, then you can trade it. And not just trade it, but those can be settled and in and out of the blockchain in real time. So you can imagine FloatSV will not be simply porting over all kinds of altcoins and trading them against BSV. That's not the intention. The intention is to power the trading of real assets between each other and power them over proof of work blockchains. Because in my belief, in our company's belief, those are the blockchains that can be relied upon sustainably. And that's why the only 3 blockchains that are supported by FloatSV is BSV, of course, and then we have BTC and BCH.
Awesome. I love to see that you put your money where your mouth is, Jack. This is exactly what we were talking about in November. Now you've gone ahead and done it. And you've also launched RelayX as a super wallet. So tell me what is exciting about this wallet and what your future plans are with that.
I'm super excited about RelayX because the exchange, while it's the moneymaker today in the industry and what people talk about, the exchange, I think, caps out at 10 to 100 million users. But I think something like a wallet that people can use in everyday life is something that can have the potential to reach 5 billion users. Whether that be RelayX itself or its ecosystem or other competitors, those are all welcome. But fundamentally, what we all love about wallets today, like when you use PayPal or Square Cash or WeChat, those things we love because it's like instant transactions between 2 friends who are using WeChat, right? But that's because you're transferring the money between basically a centralized database. But you cannot actually use your WeChat and scan someone's PayPal. That doesn't work. So these network effects seem very large at first, but there's still a long ways to go. And the beautiful thing about what we're trying to do at RelayX is BSV is that amazingly fast, cheap, transaction secure tokens that's being sent in and out of the wallet. But we are trying to target a much more mainstream audience who can use RelayX as their wallet for day-to-day transactions and make those transactions across platform to platforms like WeChat and Alipay, the 2 that we have launched today. So the experience is I can scan a WeChat QR code and not understand that I'm paying something called BSV. And the merchant will just receive something into their WeChat account. And today we have 2 kind of cross-platform partners that we have been enabling. Our goal by the end of the year is to do 50 more, or 50 total rather, and hopefully we outdo ourselves and get to 100. But our goal is to make sure that all the payment systems in the world are connected.
Awesome. I love it. Jack, we love your work, and let us know if there's anything that you want to send, any messages you want to send to our audience before we sign off today about, what you're doing over there, what the future holds, anything you wish to add.
Well, first, a warning message to any users. I think be patient. We've obviously got both products, RelayX and Float, out in a breeze. And so there's going to be bugs. We're going to try and fix them and as fast as we can. And then longer term, I think for anyone who's really fantastically enthusiastic about Bitcoin, I love it. More people, the better. And focus on bringing more transactions on chain, because that's how you're really growing Bitcoin. Nothing else really matters. So get away from the Twitter buzz and get to work.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the positive message and for really putting some perspective into what's happening in Bitcoin. Jack, it's always a pleasure. I shall see you soon, and thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks, Becky.
This is Becky Liggero with Jack Liu. Thank you for watching CoinGeek.com.